there was somebody else walking behind me.
All right, Grasshoppers. That is not Dave Maloney at the bottom there. That is John Tortorella's distant cousin, Jacques. We call him Jack Tortorella. Mel is back there. He's looking better after that session we had last week.
Oh, yeah. There's almost a smile there. Stop that.
I know. Gresh is here. All right. So Jack is a good friend of ours, works over at St. Thomas Aquinas University. Ron and I went over and played a golf tournament over there probably about a month ago, charity golf tournament. Mel wasn't invited because he wasn't in a good enough mood. Didn't want him around me. He wanted people to have fun. So, Jack, he's going to join us for a few minutes here. You got a big event coming up on Tuesday, correct?
Yeah, Tom, thanks for letting me on. And first of all, happy Thanksgiving to everybody and you and your families. So Tuesday is National Day of Giving. And for St. Thomas Aquinas College, for us, it's about an opportunity to raise money for scholarships for our kids. 95% of our kids are on some sort of financial aid, 40% are first generation college attendees. And we've got about 50% of our population that is of color. And so, we serve a needy population where like all of us, they come from hardworking families, but their families, their parents want them to aspire to a better life through an education and through a St. Thomas Aquinas College degree. So our day is Tuesday. We kicked it off last week, and we're doing a raffle. So for $50, for a donation of $50, you can win a chance to win a Peloton bike, delivered to your door, customized to your needs, your size, and so on. So we really encourage all of your listeners, if they have any capability or any affinity for higher education and for the types of students we serve, help us raise money for scholarships so we can change, one life at a time. So, and
how can people where do they go to make a donation or buy a $50 ticket?
Yeah, so folks can go to stac.edu and go on our day giving page, and you can donate right there. It's really frictionless, and we appreciate that. Or you can call me, 917-318-1783. I'm happy to take your call and record your donation and make sure you get a chance to win.
Did you hear
that? Show too, if they want, you can we can talk about it later, but we can set up a thing where they can come on the show with us too if they want to bid on that. An opportunity. We did that recently with another charity and worked out very well.
Yeah, we have a silent auction up. So if you text STAC to 71760, you have a chance to win. We have some really wonderful prizes, including distillery VIP visits in Scotland. Some opportunities to go away, some opportunities to see shows when they can come back. So yeah, by all means, either by going to our website or through our stack 7160, you can text there and please donate. And yeah, if you want to have a chance to win, I guess time with Tom and Dave and Ron and others, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and they don't have to have Mel. They can have a choice whether they want Larry Melnick or not.
Tom give you a jersey to auction off?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking because.
Oh, geez, guys, no. You might get your contacts at the Rangers to get it done.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that's fantastic, Jock. So one more time, where do people go to buy a ticket?
Yeah. So again, you can go to STAC, St. Thomas Aquinas College.edu, and you'll find our donate page there for Tuesday giving, or the giving day of Tuesday, December 1. Or you can text STAC 71760 and bid on some of our wonderful silent auction items. And we'll include a chance to talk to you, Tom, as well, and the team.
I like it. Excellent.
Great.
Sounds good.
Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Good seeing you again.
All right.
Okay. Bye. Hey, Jock, too bad Jock left. I was going to tell him that's my day of giving too, the first.
Who do you give money? Who do you give to, Ron?
Alimony.
Oh. There you go.
I have 3 in the afternoon to get it done. Okay.
There you go.
David, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys? So that was obviously I logged on late. That was a St. Thomas Aquinas charity.
Yes, that was down. Remember, you were down. You were going to go to that golf tournament.
Golf outing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Good.
We're talking, Dave. This is the day everybody drinks more booze than any other day in the year.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, there were a lot of people in the shop this morning.
Oh,
Nice.
more than 5 at a time?
What's that?
More than 5 at a time?
If they get 5 people in there, yeah, as you used to say, Gresh, you have to go outside to change your mind. It's not a very big, not a very big shop, but
I feel bad for the families of, like if you can only have 6 people. Like, how do you go like, okay, you 2 are eliminated from coming for dinner?
yeah, yeah.
Well, in some cases, it's a good thing.
That must be why we've never been invited to Gresh's for dinner, I guess, Tom.
Yeah.
Well, I don't cook. I'll take you to McDonald's or something.
Mel, what'd you do for Canadian Thanksgiving? Did you have everybody over to your house or what?
Yeah, right.
That was in October. Well, I'm German Ukrainian, so ours is a little different. My wife likes to make the big turkey, so we had the big turkey. But we for sides we have like kubasa, garlic sausage, pierogies,
Nice.
Oh, pierogies! I love them.
lots of sour cream. Then my grandmother used to make like a mushroom sauce that you throw over top of the pierogies and the on the turkey. And then we had little buckwheat cabbage rolls as well, which nobody from Saskatchewan, Gresh, you might know about the buckwheat cabbage rolls. And then dough balls as well. So they're just around, not a pierogi, but dough with a potato with butter and cheese inside.
Oh,
And you throw an onion cream sauce over top of that. So that's what we have. And then the occasional Labatt's Blue or Rainier or Coke.
Are you half Ukrainian?
Ukrainian, German, Scottish. Yes.
My grandmother was part Ukrainian. So
We're the best cooks around. And then German, potato pancakes and strudels. Oh man, we grew up. We ate really well.
the Krauts couldn't cook, but they could cook.
That's right.
Dave, what are you doing? You staying home?
Staying at home. Yeah, we were going to get. Well, no, I'm going to see. I'm going to see all my kids tonight. We're just going to. David lives up the road a little bit, and we're going to sit around his fire pit and have an adult beverage or two, and
Nice.
And then tomorrow it's just my son Decker and Alex and I. So I'm cooking up a little ham and.
Good thing you didn't forget the name today, Dave. Good thing you didn't forget the name today. Your wife's name. That's
Dave
good.
had
You're a good one, Dave. You got it. Yeah.
What did I get today?
you remembered your wife's name.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago, there was a problem with some names on.
Yeah. That's yeah. It's bad when you remember your first wife's name and you don't remember the second one. That's even more.
Don't go there, please. Don't.
No, it's great hearing all that good old food. I got a sister-in-law who's Polish, right? And when they got married, oh my God, that was she was the oldest of 3, so she's like a Polish princess. And I'm telling you, it was a 3-day booze and eat fest. It was unbelievable. The Polish, they know how to eat too, so it's good stuff. Although my left aorta slammed shut when Larry was talking about all the stuff he ate. I'm like,
I know. I'm listening to Mel's recipes there. Holy smokes.
yeah. Are we going to see that on your cooking show, Todd?
No, no way.
No.
No, you should take that food and just shove it right down one of your arteries there and clog it up. Don't bother eating it.
I don't eat much turkey, so
Yeah.
I save the sides are better. And then they have the turkey sandwiches for the next 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, that's what I remember about Thanksgiving in Canada, right? When we were kids, is that we had turkey for like 6 weeks after.
Yeah.
My mom would freeze it all.
Yeah.
Turkey soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, until Christmas and then start turkey again.
yeah.
We got it until the middle of January.
Yeah. What's happening, boys?
Not much. Mel, so how are you feeling after the little session we had last week there? First on the couch session. Feel
Well,
better?
I had to go and I found the yearbook. So
He was traumatized. Did you see the writing there?
I was traumatized by that. But then after the fact, there's been a bunch of people from Winnipeg. I know James Patrick is watching. The Jeep is watching. So
Nice.
this girl that wrote this stuff about me, the next year she wrote another thing and said that, no, scrap the Zamboni thing. You have a more likelihood of being a member of the Winnipeg Ballet.
What'd you do to this girl?
It was she. Well, I grew up in the James Jeeps grew up in probably St. Vital or St. Boniface. The high end area.
Yeah.
I grew up in North Kildonan in the tougher, rougher part of town. So this girl was tough. So she was on
Really not. She just was me. She's picking on people. Is she picking on other people as well?
just me. No, it's just me because I guess I pestered her. She sat in front of me in class and I pestered her a bit. And so anyway,
Imagine that.
you overcome.
Yeah.
What was early in your life? You had to overcome that, right? Like
15, 16, that's impressionable days, right? So
exactly.
yeah. So that's why I moved away from home. That was enough of that crap.
And you took up hockey. Yeah.
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 My mother just moved to Winnipeg today.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Wow. Has she been good soil all this time, Gresh?
She's been in Regina.
Regina, right?
She moved to Winnipeg. She sold her condos and moved to Winnipeg.
Right.
So she's
Well, you got nephews there, right? And your nephews there?
nephews there. We got family there and stuff. So
Right.
And it's like
Well, what set of apartment buildings is she moving into that you own there?
her nephews got her house.
Yeah.
And they put a couple of nice big suites downstairs and fixed it all up upstairs.
Good.
On the main floor. And they wanted her to be able to go upstairs and downstairs, so they put an elevator in the house.
There you go.
It doesn't hurt anything,
Gresh's nephews have done very well in life. They've worked hard for it, but
Well, they're good kids. They're smart. They're just unbelievable unbelievable boys. They're like great.
That's good.
There's a lot of things about them that I remember growing up, and I was already grown up, but they were born, and I went to Regina, Saskatchewan to visit my sister one time. So I took the kids, and I took them to I can't remember. It was like a Canadian Tire kind of store, like an all-around store. You could buy whatever you want in there. So I took them into the aisles with shopping carts and told them to pick out whatever they wanted, and filled up a whole truck.
Wow.
Took it back to my sister's, and she was like, "What the?"
Did they like Uncle Ron after that? They like him a lot?
I listened before because I'd buy him a few things, but I figured, what? One day you got to spoil them a little bit,
Yeah.
So it was like 70, 79 or 80, but those kids always thought that they'd come to Edmonton sometimes or Calgary or we'd be in Winnipeg. They'd come in the locker room and they just thought everybody did that.
Right.
And they're like, "What do you mean you guys haven't been in the locker room?" They tell kids in school. "What do you mean? You haven't been in the locker room?"
Right.
That's good. They're good boys.
Gresh, weren't you going to go to Home Depot and Costco today?
Done.
What'd you get?
I got. I didn't go to Costco. I went and got gas for my daughter's Jeep because it was empty again. And what's new? And then went over to where did we go? Went to the bank. Went to Home Depot.
Oh, did you get your freezer?
No, didn't have time. Tom, I had to get back here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Might go after though.
Okay. So, are you guys following what's going on with the negotiations with the NHL and the Player Association? David, you probably are, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, talked to Don on Monday or Tuesday. I mean, both sides probably have a point, right? I mean, nothing's really clear, and I think there's a consensus there. They'll probably get something done. It might not come as easily as they thought, but nobody really know. It's the same thing. It's like we talked about through all of this. Is until it's definitive, then we'll know. But I think there's still an attempt. So, I mean, do you think the owners have a right to ask to renegotiate?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with the losses. So just so everybody's aware, at the start of the pandemic, they renegotiated the collective bargaining agreement. And for the next 2 years, they capped the escrow payment at 20%. That also had a 10% deferment. And there's this whole payback system and everything for the owners. And since it's gotten worse, the owners have now come back and asked for an additional 16% deferment. So, in my mind, and I don't think there's anything wrong with this, the Player Association had to know that was going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. You can't keep playing if there's no money. Like how do you? If I was an owner, I'd go like, okay, good. I'd rather lose $8 million in my office staff and lose $80 million having you guys play. And you need fans in the NHL. It's been like that forever. That's just a fact, you know.
And I thought I saw a headline this morning scroll by where I didn't see what owners, but apparently there's there's only one thing. I saw that there is a movement with the owners not even play.
Yeah, I've heard that same thing, that some owners would better off not playing. Yeah.
Right. So
Mel, are you following up there? What are they saying up there in Vancouver?
A little bit. I think by nature, as players, we're very stubborn, and as a group, I would say that we'd, want to not renegotiate again. But as players as well, your time frame for playing is very short, so you want to get in as many games as you can. And eventually, the way it's looking, in the next couple of months, I think we're going to have a vaccine and things should clear up a little bit. But negotiations are never easy, obviously. But you know that more than anybody, Tom. So.
Yeah. I was actually surprised when they renegotiated at the start of the pandemic how well that got done. Nobody was saying anything, and maybe that's an indicator that one side thought, well, this is a better deal than we hoped that we're going to get, right? So they didn't say anything about it. But I'm with you guys. I think they're going to play, and it's a hard sell too. With so many people hurting financially out there too, it's and you saw that with baseball. It's pretty much the same thing. They had negotiated a deal, and then we went back and renegotiated it. And a lot of the players I thought said some things they didn't need to say. But I think the Player Association they have to put up a little bit of a fight.
Oh, absolutely, right. I don't think there's any. Yeah, I think it is. In fact, you just have to kind of push to know that you're still in the game. You're still trying to protect your own. And I think too, and I was impressed too at how quickly they extended the collective bargaining agreement. They seemed to come to caps on the escrow and different things like that. But still, although there's still so much unknown about how this thing is going to play out. And I think within the next month too, we'll know, even a little more about the pandemic, because it sure sounds like the numbers are spiking now. And then, as you mentioned, the vaccine looks like there's some hope there. So,
is it better to make, if you're making $6 million and they only want to pay you $3 million, is it better to make $3 million than $0?
Oh, well, yeah. But there's a lot, and I hear you, Gresh, but there's a lot of precedent setting stuff too, right? I mean, they worked so hard going back to 04, 05 to not just give in to the owners, to show that they were going to fight.
I understand, but this is like a whole.
Yeah, but I agree. But that's always going to be in their mind. The precedent setting is always an important thing. Once they start giving into stuff, then that's their concern. Whether it's, I agree with you totally. It's a whole different time.
I know a couple of the guys that own teams, and they don't want to play at all. They don't think it'll happen. I won't mention what teams they are, but they don't think it's going to happen, because if it's not negotiated down to the right price, they can't afford to lose that much money.
Yeah,
they can do 1 year, but the vaccines are all out there, but that doesn't cure everybody from coming into that building the way they are, because some people aren't going to take it. Some people are going to take it. There's a whole, I don't know whether to take it or not take it, but I'd probably, 65 years old, I'll probably take it.
And there's a lot of people saying that when a vaccine first comes out, it's going to go to, first responders, the elderly people. It won't get to the general population until maybe, into April or May.
That's the earliest time.
Yeah.
65 is pretty young still. They don't even look at you.
Not if you. Oh yeah, no, I'm in that category. 65 and over. You're going to be after everybody else is taken care of, police officers, everything else, and they start working their way down from different ages.
But Chris, you're too healthy. You don't need it.
I don't need it. If I don't have the virus by now, I ain't ever.
So what virus would that be, Gretz?
Jack Daniels virus. The virus that Jack Daniels. You don't need a lot of it. It wasn't like it was 40 years ago, Dave, when I drank 2 bottles.
I remember one of our guys, and I didn't play with Larry, but one of this foursome him and his roommate used to have a couple of battles with Jack Daniels.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
There's just one of the four of us, and I didn't play with Larry. So anyway.
The other guy's older than you.
I'll never forget. Did we ever tell a story? It's the Teddy Taylor story. We were in St. Louis, I think it was, and I think it was John Van Beesbroek and Willie Huber had gone out to eat, and then they hung around and had a few drinks at this place. And the coaches showed up there and saw Willie and John Van Beesbroek drinking. So I was one of the captains. I don't know if Gress maybe wasn't on the trip or something like that. So they come. Teddy Sater comes knocking on my door, outraged that these guys are out drinking the night before the game. In the meantime, I had to hide the bottle of Jack Daniels underneath the bed. And he's going, "This is just awful, Tommy." And I'm going, "I can't believe it, Ted. It's awful."
I remember that because yeah, I remember that because they were out. Were they in a hotel somewhere?
No, I think they were out at some other restaurant bar kind of thing, and
but it wasn't like super late.
no, it wasn't. Ted way overreacted. I mean, they first of all, I mean, that was a common thing. Yeah,
they were having a drink at 8:30. I go,
yeah,
8:30. Get lost.
Oh, I know.
Please don't.
I think he ended up benching them the next night too. Like something happened. They did one thing went wrong. I think he was just looking for something to go wrong, and then
I go 8:30. I thought he was going to say they came in at 3:00 in the morning, right? I go like, okay, just give them 40 shifts tomorrow night, and they'll straighten them out.
Yeah.
Well, they hurt.
So what do you think? Do you think Big Willie put Beezer in his pocket when they were in
I'll give you a Willie story. One time we were going to play in Philly, and Mel and you guys, Mel was there, and so was Tommy. It was 85, 86. And so I get a ride back into the city, and Willie couldn't make the game. We played the night before at home, went to Philly next night. I drive home in the remember that guy Scotty, Big Scotty, and all those guys that had the van with the
van, right?
So I get a ride home with them, and I go to Fleming's on 86th Street, right? So I said, "Come on in, I'll buy you guys some beer." So they come in, and we're drinking, and Sammy O'Connor was the bartender. He goes to me, Sammy goes like this to me, he goes, I look down, they had curtains in the front windows, right? It was a beautiful place. It was like a big place. I see these feet sticking out. It's Willie's.
He's hiding behind the curtain?
I pulled the curtain back.
He was the door prize for the night.
No, but he was hiding behind, like, he thought I would come in for a couple of beers. He's going to sneak out around the curtains and get out. I wouldn't see him because he was supposed to be home sick, right? So,
well, that's right. Yeah.
So anyway, we're standing at the bar drinking. Who pulls up in the cab? Wayne Cashman.
Okay.
Oh.
Cash pulls up, and the curtains were open like this, like a couple of feet. You could just see Cash get up. He always had that briefcase, right? He carried that briefcase with him. Like I don't know what he carried in there. Probably sandwiches or something.
Beer.
No, he said it was something to do with the Russians. Maybe it was for the election coming up or going by. And anyway, so he comes in. He goes behind the curtains again. So now everybody's going like, and Cash having a few cocktails looks down, sees the feet behind the curtains, and he goes, "Willie?" He didn't even know it was him. He guessed it. And poor Willie goes out. Oh, Cash was like, "What are we gonna do?" He didn't
Cash, anyways.
Willie was just having a late pregame nap, and then he realized it was in Philly. He said, "I'm
Oh, yeah.
That Philly flu, that sucks."
We played. I don't remember who we played at home that night. We played Philly next night, and he was complaining to me on the bench about having headaches and not feeling very good, like coughing. He goes, I'm going like, okay, good. And he was a big man too, boy. He was like, I mean,
he's a very good player. We talked about that before. He's a good player too.
Such a great, nice guy, you know. Can you imagine Mel in that body, or Dave throwing his gear? How far it would go? No, you would have murdered guys.
Yeah,
Love to have been
right. He was always to me like one of those big guys that never had to be mean because he was probably he was younger. He was so skilled. He probably had the puck the whole time.
Yeah,
right. And he was also probably told as a kid, you're a big guy. You can't, you got to be careful. And I think the little guys, you got to go after them. You got to gnaw on them, and get after them. Those little guys like.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he played for Hamilton.
Yeah.
They beat Barry Beck's team in the Memorial Cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were you on that team now? No.
No, that's a couple of years before me.
You played before you? Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Willie had a huge slap shot too. Could shoot.
Oh, he could shoot.
He
Really?
could snap it like, oh man, he had a lot of talent.
Uh-oh. Gretch doing some aerobic workout now.
Yeah.
Getting out of that chair.
Put it back. Let's time and see how long it takes for him to get back. It's 3:25 now. See, like how he just gets up and leaves too, right? Don't worry, Gresh. There's millions of people watching the show and they want to hear you. But
Hey, Larry, let me ask you something. Up there, would people, if this thing comes back, do you think they're charged up about having a Canadian division? Do you get any sense? Like have the Canadian teams play together?
I think they'd love that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That creates some good rivalries, right?
Well, Vancouver's very fickle, right? So whenever the original six comes in, like they love Boston, Toronto, Montreal. The games are 3/4 full of those fans.
Yeah, right.
You know, not to say that they don't cheer for the Canucks, but they love the older teams. So a Canadian division would be great, and we'd fill the building for sure. But if in Vancouver, when I got here in '87, there was like 6,000 people in the stands. We were a losing team, and then Gillis came, and he had a great run for about 6 years here, and the fans in the stands were 100% full for 6-7 years in a row. So
right.
yeah, Canadian division are
Makes sense. Don't have to cry. There'd be 7 teams. You wouldn't have to cross the border and worry about that angle.
Yeah.
It makes good sense. So, Gresh, where'd you go, Gresh?
My son's they're just trying to. We're doing some stuff.
Okay.
When you got a lot of kids, a lot of things happen, and it's like you got to just let it slide off like water off a duck's ass,
what was that?
You got to fine. And they I don't lift anything. They do all the stuff. I lift this.
There you go.
TD Bank.
Writing the checks.
And I lift this one here. Jean Beliveau pens.
Wow.
I got that up to his 100th anniversary with the.
It looks a little heavier. That pen looks a little heavier.
It does, but it's like I loved him when I was growing up, and we were up there for the 100th anniversary when the 100, and so he was signing autographs and stuff. So I said to myself, "Can I take one of these pens?"
Cool.
You only want one? I go, yeah. Well, I don't want to take all those. I would take them. He had a whole box of them. I would have grabbed them all. John Beliveau, for Christ's sake.
Hey, Gresh, how's the intermittent fasting going?
Today's not a good day, Tom, so we shouldn't talk about it.
All right, that's fine.
I had
what progress, not perfection.
2 crashes in 3 weeks. One was last night, and then one was a few weeks ago. But I've been trying to. I like it. Your brain is a little more. Yeah. I don't know, a little more clear. I think
We can notice.
Get rid of some. Well, mine takes. That's why it's going to take me at least 20, 30 years to straighten this thing out. Knowing you guys for all these years, I'm lucky my brain is the way it is.
And Mel, how's your knee?
Still not very good.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not getting any better. So December 1st, go see a specialist.
Okay.
Getting back to Gresh though, like you looked like Jean Beliveau at center for the New York Rangers wearing number 4.
Yeah.
Going back to last week, you said you weren't very fast in the end though, were you? Because you told me Semenko hit you, and Semenko wasn't a very fast guy. So what happened there?
I was coming behind the net. Semenko was coming around to check, and Steve Vickers was kind of blocking him from the corner of the net, goaltender's right. Sarge bailed out with about 4 feet to go.
Understood, but still, he caught you. Like
he didn't catch me. I was coming behind the net. And it wasn't like he caught me. I was probably just as fast as Semenko, maybe. Maybe he was a little faster. I'll give him the doubt.
That's debatable, but anyway.
Yeah, no, but you guys were pretty fast too. Like all you guys were pretty fast. Especially Stickhead.
The game was fast.
The puck disintegrated faster than anybody I've known.
I was thinking about, getting abuse about that. James Patrick, him and Rayo Rissalena were pretty good hockey players. Granted, Tommy went in the 6th round. I went in the 4th round. Jeep went in the 1st round. Now, if they didn't play and they weren't as good, like if they didn't play as much, I think Tommy and I would have been on the power play.
Yeah.
If they were hurt, you guys would have been on there for sure.
Well,
I scored my first goal on the power play. Freddie Shearer was coaching. Freddie put me in front of the net. I got fired pretty quickly after that too.
Enough for that.
Yeah.
Well, not quite.
So what was that goal? You just anchor yourself there, or was it hands, or did it go off your ass, or how did it win?
No, Phil Esposito passed it back to Barry Beck. He shot rebound, so I banged in the rebound. Richard Brodeur was the goalie. Richard Brodeur.
I played in front of the net a few times, like on the power play.
Yeah,
it was great until you had Rayo used to wind them up.
Oh,
they were sliding over. Like you didn't know what to do with your hit. Like when you were standing like this, right? And the goalie's behind you.
Did Gresh freeze up there?
About that shot. Oh no! Here it comes! Here it comes!
Gresh, wake up! Wake up!
Press the button.
That's classic. We can pick on him now, and he can't even do anything about it.
He's probably still talking too.
Oh my God! He's shooting again.
He fell asleep. He'll be back with us.
Narcolepsy.
What was your first goal, Dave?
Minnesota North Stars. Cesar Mondiago.
Oh.
No, you didn't say Phil, did you? No. Who assisted on yours?
Phil and Bubba.
Yeah, it was Phil and Greg Polis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've had my. Oh, we lost Crash.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Hey, you didn't hear the ambulance pull up, did you?
You didn't pay his power bill, maybe. You didn't.
Yeah. You got one of those. Yeah. So it was my first game in the NHL was against Minnesota. First goal against Minnesota, and my only hat trick was against Minnesota.
Nice.
I love that town. Love those North Stars.
Mel, who was your first goal?
Only took me 4 years, Tom. 4 years.
Larry, they were shadowing you.
Yeah, I played like 200 and some games in the American League, like I told you. So, but it was playoffs, 85 Chicago, 1st round. Kevin McClellan, Dave Hunter. I came in from the left point position into the slot, Tommy. Wow. Probably the first time. It's amazing what you can do when you're in the slot. Snapped one by Murray Bannerman. So
nice. And how many goals did you score in your career?
11.
I had 25. What do you have, Dave?
I looked it up.
70, 72, 74, something like that.
He's talented.
I went for 120 games one time in LA when I was scoring a goal. It got to be pretty funny after a while, the guys.
Was that when Gretz was there? I mean, couldn't he just tee it up for you just once?
No, I think it might have been before he got there. But I don't know how you guys were, but the farther along I got in my career, it just established more as that defensive defenseman. So it's like, I was playing just a simple game. I wouldn't really get past the blue line. So
yeah.
Well, Gretz was so good that I'd go into the slot or do whatever, and he'd look you off and look for Curry or Anderson or somebody else, right? He said, I'm not going to pass it to you. You get out of there.
That's very true.
He was so good at, oh man.
I never forget when I've told the story before when he tied Gordie Howe's point record is in Edmonton, and it was a 4-on-4, and the other guys on there like Messier was there, I think Glenn Anderson, Coffey, so they all knew go check Gretz. They knew what was going to be happening. So they two of them went to Gretz on the board, and I'm standing there in the slot all by myself, and the same kind of look. He looked at me like, I guess I got to get him to him because there's nobody else to give it to.
Right.
So the puck, and I go in on Ranford, and I'm panicking because I'm thinking to myself, I mean, this is going to tie Gordie Howe's record if I score this goal. And I passed to Bernie Nichols off the side of the net. He was getting covered by Charlie Huddy, and he was able to tip it in and score. That's his tying point. But they show it on the video. and everybody's celebrating on the ice and all this kind of stuff. And Bernie comes over to me. He's dying laughing. He goes, "What the heck are you doing passing to me? Like, I've got a breakaway," and I end up passing it to Bernie. It looked like this fantastic play, but it was really reality. I was just wanting to get rid of it.
So let me ask you something. I only played when he was Mario Lemieux.
Yep.
I was playing against him. I played against him once his rookie year. That was it.
Yeah. Well, for me, I thought like his first few years, actually, he really wasn't that competitive. Like, he was really skilled, but you could pit him against the boards. He wouldn't fight back. He just stand there. That's the thing that I saw and I think Steve Yzerman was like that too. As their careers went on, they became much more competitive, prettier guys. But to me, Mario is by far the hardest guy to play against one-on-one because he was so big too. Like, it wasn't like you could get the stick between his legs and control him like a lot of the smaller guys that were skilled. He was just a big man. You couldn't physically dominate him, especially after 3 or 4 years in the league. So, and he was a scary dude.
How about you, Larry? Remember?
It was like it looked like he wasn't trying.
Yeah.
He was like a guy like a Mike Krushelnyski, who I played with as well. Just big, lanky, and Mario was effortless. Mike wasn't quite as smooth as Mario, but like Tom said, one-on-one, he was unbelievable. And I don't think in the first couple of years he actually worked out. I think he was kind of like Lafleur. He'd just go to camp, out of shape, get in, because he was that good. He'd just get in shape when he was in camp. But no, he was a lot faster than he looked and a lot stronger. And I think like 2 or 3 years into it, I think they started working out a little bit. So what was that, 85, 86, 87? Guys started to work on the weights a little bit more than what we did in the early 80s. And but he could shoot the puck, and he was like Gretz. He could see the whole ice and find anybody anywhere. And it's not like he's going to get shit for making a mistake. He tried anything out there like Gretz. Those guys had the freedom to, what are they going to do to me? If Tommy or I make a mistake, well, we're on the pine, right? So
I remember that Larry Robinson was the same way, right? Like, I played with him in LA there, and he had that thing where he'd come around the side of the net and just fire it right up the middle of the ice through our defensive zone. And a lot of times, he'd hit who he wanted to hit, but sometimes he'd get picked off by the other team and go and score. But he was Larry Robinson, so really, he knew he was getting back out there again. That's who he was. That's the way he played. He was great. Who was the toughest one-on-one for you, Dave?
Probably like a one-on-one. He was almost, Mario might have been. It was Gilbert Perreault.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. Oh.
With him, he I'm sure he knew what he was doing. He was a tremendous guy. I ended in Buffalo, played with him. But boy, he'd come down and he just, oh God Almighty, I don't know where he's going. He had one leg out here, the arm out here, and he was good. Lafleur was, because he could turn so quickly and stuff. He was, Gretzky would do that too. But and then Gretz just. He just saw everything, right? But Gilbert Perreault was one of the, just the guy that he was so skilled and he could do a lot of things at top speed. So he was really good, really good.
Well, it is true to Gretz, right? Go ahead.
I was in Vancouver, and we're playing against Mario, and Bobby McCammon's our coach, and he says, whatever you guys do, make sure you know where Lemieux is on the ice at all times, which the better players you do anyways, right? But he says, so I'm on the left point and I've got the puck, and I don't know where Mario came from, or I didn't think he was that fast, but I'm trying to make a pass from the left side to the right side, and who intercepts it up the middle of the ice was Lemieux. I was on him, like hugging him, trying, like the way I play, tackle him, spear him, do whatever. He still goes in and dekes the goalie with me on his back. That's how good he was.
Yeah, it's true. Big, strong man.
Did McCammon say, I guess you knew where he was?
I didn't play the rest of the game.
Didn't talk to you.
Yeah.
It's funny playing against those guys too, right? Like, it's the psychological part of it too. Like, with Gretz, like, you knew, as good as he was, if everybody did their job, you could usually be okay in the defensive zone. But the problem was everybody wanted to overplay him. So you get like one or two guys going to him. And like it was the Paul Coffey coming through the middle of the ice that you really had to worry about. But it's just, he built such a reputation where,
Really, that Edmonton team though, right? I mean, Larry, you were there. I mean, when you take a look at the names, I mean, that 79 Montreal team that we lost to was, they eventually had, I think they have 7 or 8 Hall of Famers on that team, and winning winning makes good players better, right? And reputation. But boy, oh boy, those Edmonton teams. Oh my goodness gracious, they were.
Well,
When I was in LA, my first year in LA, we played them in the playoffs in the first round, and we won the first game. And I think we won pretty bad. I think it was like 7-3 or something like that. We won, and we're all excited. Next game is like 8-1. It's like they just they said, "Oh, we'll give them this one, and then we'll go beat the what out of them after that." They did what they wanted to.
they had tendencies too. Like if you watch some of the games, like Coffey would always wind up to his left, right? And the Islanders, when we lost, or when they lost to the Islanders the first year, like it was 83, they bottle him up. And they knew that Gretz would come down always on his offside and do a little spinorama looking for Curry going that way, right? And just one little, Huddy and Coffey used to play together all the time. And Charlie was very steady. He was a little better than Tommy and I as a defensive defenseman. But Coffey used to grab the puck and Charlie would sing "Fly Like an Eagle" as he's going down the ice. And yeah,
I didn't know that. Is that right?
Yeah,
That's fun.
So we had a lot of fun, and like I said before, it was always good going to the rink knowing you're going to win, 90% of the time. So
that team did have fun though too, right? They were
cocky. Oh man,
so much fun. Well, it's like you and Gresh. What was the bar we went to after Rye Playland? That old the old pub, really dungy.
Yeah,
you used to like to go to the dungy bars.
What
was the name of it? Remember?
The pub.
Oh, it's called the pub.
Yeah,
there you go. That's tough to remember, but
they had to keep it simple for us.
Yeah, they were going to call it the bar, but they just call it the pub.
Well, one thing about that Oilers team too, thinking about the drinking and every game after every practice, like we'd go have a few, whether it was David's or Jester's or wherever, we'd always go for a beer, always. And it went same as with you guys, right?
Didn't they kind of have a rule that even if they just got back from a road trip, like a 2-week road trip or something, they'd always have to stop and go for a beer or something like that? Wasn't that a rule?
Boston was the best. Like those, I remember Cash, who we had as assistant coach. There was Cash and Cheevers and Jonathan and all those guys. We'd go on a 2-week road trip and we get off the plane, and right as you're going, I think just before the tunnel, is a place called Redmond's, and it wasn't Dick or what's the other guy's name?
Mickey Redmond.
Rick, yeah. So, but we'd stop in there and we'd sit there and drink for another 2 hours. Some of the guys haven't seen their wives in 2 weeks, and so we'd stop in there. But in Edmonton, it was mandatory before a playoff, the night before a playoff game, you had to go out for a drink, and we did that for every game. And again, it was one. I don't remember the name of the bar downtown Edmonton, but it was mandatory. Everybody showed up. You had one or you had many. But they did it all the time. So
the little guy Gretzky, he could pound them too.
Oh yeah.
He could.
And he never let it affect his game. Like he could have quite a few the night before. He'd come to practice the next day, and he was one of the hardest workers. It's like he made a point of being one of the hardest workers because they knew he had a few beers.
Yeah. No, they used to really enjoy it. And one thing about Wayne as well is I sat down with him at one of the reunions. I sat down for probably an hour. And we talked about the old junior days and where he played, and he has a photographic memory. Even with he remembers plays from like the 70s, plays from the NHL, WH. He remembers everything and everybody. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He was like that with me when he came to LA. We had played against each other junior B. So he's like 3 years younger than me. So I was like 16 and he was coming up with like 13 years old playing against guys who were 19 and 20. We were trying to kill him. And he came to the back of the bus one time in LA and he started talking about some of the guys that were on my team that I had forgotten all about. He knew their names and who they were. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's special, right? That's it's good stuff. I
feel like he really knew who he was as an athlete, right? Like how big of an influence he had on the game and people around him. Like he was so. I can't remember. I told a story. We were in Chicago traveling one time, and I think it was like a day before the game. We had a skate at the stadium there, and we're all in the locker room getting ready to get dressed and everything. And this young reporter comes in. He's all with the suit on, hair done, the whole bit. And he's setting up. The camera's all set up. It comes to Wayne. He says, "Wayne, you ready to go for the interview?" And Wayne kind of snaps at him. He says, "What are you talking about? I'm not doing an interview." Like he's mad at him, And we're all like, look at that. Wayne never does that. So he didn't wait too long. It was probably like 30 seconds. And the poor kid was mortified because he obviously was telling all his buddies that this is a big interview he's doing. And Gretz started laughing, pat him on the back. He says, "Come on, let's go." He was just like, he knew what he was doing. He couldn't hurt him. He's good. What's happening?
Ronald.
Little misfunction of the internet.
Oh, Mel thought you fell asleep. I was backing you up, but Mel said you fell asleep.
I might have. I don't think I'm going to tell you the truth, am I? So let me think of that. Anyway,
so what were you talking about? When you're rare roots lane and shooting the
Where
puck?
you're in the spot, Greg, and
you would
steam it up.
slide from one side to the other, right? And then whoever slides it over the rail, and you're going over to this side of the net, and you go like, you close your eyes, you just hope it goes by your face. You don't care where it hits you, as long as it's not in the face.
Yeah, he can shoot the puck.
He's zinged a couple. I got a couple from him in the ribs. Holy shit! Anyway, you want to be tough out there, right?
Yeah.
So, Gresh, what's happening tomorrow? Am I bringing like a plate of food over to you? Or you
I'm
coming?
coming over, Tom.
Okay, all right. So I can deliver it if you want.
You want me to wear a mask or stay 20 feet from you?
Yeah, both, please. Both. A mask and stay away.
Okay, good. That's
Wash your hands when you get in.
what I was hoping you'd say. Please wash your hands before you cook, though. I know where those hands have been.
So we're gonna turkey, homemade stuffing, homemade gravy. We're gonna have sweet potato fries, some green beans, and homemade apple pie.
Did anybody like green beans when you were growing up?
Yeah.
I hate them.
No,
I didn't feel like 1920.
How about beets? Anybody like beets when you were a kid?
Love beets.
they're very
Well, I ate them raw. I didn't like them cooked. Remember that concert we went to, Dave, up in somewhere?
Yeah, in Mosport, Canada Jam.
Yeah, and
I pick up Rashid Paul Moran, was a buddy of ours. He was a cop. Pick him up at the airport, Toronto airport. We're heading to Mosport. Tom, you know where that is? North.
yeah.
There's a Canada Jam concert. It's like the Commodores, the Village People,
yeah,
Kansas, those old bands, right?
Mhm.
So we literally pick them up probably,
they weren't old then.
and we sit in the parking lot.
The bands weren't old then.
Huh?
The bands weren't old then.
Yeah. We sit in the parking lot upstairs and drank a couple cases of beer and head to Mosport. Now the sun's coming up. So Gresh gets hungry, right? Gresh, you can take it from here.
Well, I'm been drinking all night. I think we had a hot dog somewhere at the airport, and I look up, beautiful cornfield, into the corn, sweet corn too. Whoever that farmer was grew great corn. I ripped the corn off, jumped back in the car, peeled it down,
Ate
ate it raw. Because I like it like that, you know. So
I'm cooking the food tomorrow.
What?
Gresh, I'm cooking the turkey tomorrow. It's not gonna be raw.
So the beets too. You eat there must be something about the raw stuff. Gresh.
Yeah. Listen, sometimes you didn't have a fire. What are you going to do?
Yeah. That was good.
No, it was fun. I remember that concert because we got there like 8:30 in the morning, and we drank from 5 the night before. And I laid down. I woke up, and I wasn't sure where I was. Like 2 in the afternoon. Oh my god! And the thing was, I was with this. Dave and myself had this buddy, and I go into Canada. I never had I forgot my driver's license and everything at home. He talked me. He got me through the border coming back into the States.
No ID.
No ID.
Those are the days.
Yeah, it was good. But
Mel, you eat raw food, Mel, or you cook your food?
Pretty well cook everything, but I think lately lots of garlic and lots of olive oil on anything will taste really good.
Tom Laidlaw, garlic and olive oil.
Garlic's good for you too.
Yeah.
Garlic, cayenne, chili peppers, cumin. What's the other one? Yeah, that's it.
How about the ginger, turmeric, that kind of stuff? That
Tom,
healthy?
when you do that ginger turmeric, do you mix it in a shake or something?
No, I get fresh ginger root and I put a juicer. I juice it.
Yeah, we got
Liquid turmeric that's got turmeric. I guess is hard for your body to digest, so they have something like pepper or something like that to help it get into your system.
Mhm.
So the stuff I buy has got I can't remember what it's called. It's something to help you digest the turmeric. But I tell you, if you juice the ginger, man, it burns going down.
It does. Yeah, no, we've got a juicer too, and you want to take it up a notch, throw some of that in there. You're like,
Oh,
wow,
man.
good though.
It's great. It's good for your immune system. Like if you're ever getting like a head cold or something like that, you take a shot of ginger and
Mhm.
it's gone.
Well,
Mel, you cook? You cook?
Yes, I can
You cook a lot?
every day.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we homemade hamburgers and homemade pizza, steak on the barbecue. Even though it's piss and rain here every day in the wintertime, I still have a outdoor barbecue. I barbecue everything.
Chris, what are you drinking?
That is stopped at Popeyes. I didn't get anything from Popeyes. I was thirsty. I got a soda
You got a soda. Why didn't you get a water?
because I wanted a soda today, Tom.
there you go. You asked.
Might as well put that on the hood of your car, like it'll just get a hole right in the hood of your car. Right through the steel there.
Well, okay then. Yeah, it'll be easier to go to bed.
Tequila would be better for you. Tequila or vodka would be better than that.
Oh, you're right about that, Tom.
George Sokar, he's still like he's kind of like Mel, kind of like always dropping in little hints there. So red wine.
Red wine. It's good. I like red.
Yeah.
It's, hey, so Tommy, the dishes you cook up, are you throwing stuff together or are you following recipes?
You know what? It depends. Sometimes I'll have a recipe and then I'll change it around a little bit, like I'll experiment with it. Like I made those protein banana muffins. That was off the Kodiak pancake mix. They have recipes, but I kind of changed it around.
Mm-hmm.
So it's usually I never really just follow a recipe. It's either something I've made or kind of.
Yeah.
Is your son wearing a pink shirt there, Gresh?
Yeah. Salmon.
Salmon. Yeah, it's all right.
Well, Tom, you found your black little T-shirt again, eh?
Yeah, this is a different one though.
Oh,
He had a white one on yesterday when he did a thing or this morning.
I know.
He had a white one. I'm going, that can't be Tom Lado. That's got to be like maybe The Rock. What's his name?
Yeah.
Is that an extra small or?
It was an extra large when I got it, but now I've been working out quite a bit, so things kind of changed. I don't know. Yeah, I ran out. Gresh, you getting ice bags at your place?
What?
Do you have ice bags at your place?
I have bags. I don't have ice bags.
Because I need ice down here, a little swollen. It's a bicep day today at the gym. Bicep.
Just take a pin, put a pin in there. They'll get rid of that.
Yeah, it can't get pinned into the skin there.
Yeah, right.
So you work your legs like once a year or just upper
No.
body?
Every day, Mel. Every day the legs get work. Because we do it, we work on the Bosu ball. You're working your core and your legs. So we try to do as many exercises as possible in the Bosu ball. So
those exercises you just come up with, Tom, or you
same thing. Kind of I see other people doing stuff.
Yeah, right.
Experiment a little bit. I really get the chains thing. I hate using the chains when in the gym with anybody else around because it looks like you're being kind of cocky and everything. But when you're by yourself, it's kind of cool using the chains. The chains are good because
they suck.
Yeah.
Do you bench with the change? Do you ever do that?
Yeah. So it really makes it harder as you go up, right? Because you're lifting
Yeah.
the chains off the floor. So,
You can't cheat.
yeah.
You just add some more weight.
What's the difference?
Well, because it changes as you go up, as you lift the bar up, the chain's coming off the ground. Therefore, there's more weight.
It gets heavier.
Like
More weight?
force or what?
Pardon me?
Centrifugal force?
No, I just call it more weight, Mel. I don't know. If you're spinning around in a circle, isn't that kind of something?
Hey, Larry, you had me. I was, yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't just put more, like if the change make it to 30 pounds and put 45 pounds on. Would it be a difference?
Yes, there is.
The change looks better though.
No, there is a difference. You're not listening.
And it's snowing. You got the chains right there to put on your tires.
Ron, there's a difference. The exercise gets more difficult as you proceed through the exercise with the chains.
because of your status in New York and you have somebody that helps you, like a spotter and a person that helps you put the weights on and stuff like that, or you got to do it yourself?
Mel, it's gym etiquette is that you have to do it yourself.
Oh,
And you have to put the weights back on the rack. You can't leave the weights on the bar. You can't leave the weights on the floor. Oh, look at the Ranger shirt on. The Ranger shirt on in the background.
That's my baby boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, I guess we're getting ready for Thanksgiving tonight. What are you guys doing tonight? Anything? Oh, Dave, you're going to see your son?
Yeah, we're going up, go for a little walk. My grandson and daughter, all four of the kids. And my one daughter-in-law, she's a nurse in New York. She's got to work till 8, so she'll be out later.
What are you doing, Gresh?
Well, Dave could be in bed by 8. I hope she gets there before 8.
Yeah.
What are you doing tonight?
What am I doing?
That's what I asked you. Yeah.
Okay, take a guess.
Having a shot at Jack Daniels?
Well, I might have one a little bit later. It's my boys are here now. My daughter's going to work.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking about working though.
And Mel, it's like only 7 o'clock. So what is it? What time is it? 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
1 o'clock here. So
You're gonna start drinking as soon as we get off the show, or what?
medicinal. But
My son's even laughing in the other room on that one.
well, the knee hurts. So at 3 o'clock, I'll have I brought this out. I was going to have it, but I didn't open it. So I'll have a Rainier or an Old Milwaukee or something at 3 in a couple hours.
They last a lot longer if you don't open them.
That's true. But my brother, Uncle Paul, and Paul Ranger, one of our fans, found something doing some investigative homework over this past week. Boston Bruins versus New York Rangers. November 26, 1980, 6:33 of the second period. Tom Laidlaw versus Larry Melnick.
Did we fight? Really?
They found it. So you're still alive. So I'm assuming I won, right? Who won? Who do you think won?
What was it, man?
Wow. Do you remember that?
I don't remember it. I had to look it up.
Wow.
That must be a good fight. Neither one of you can remember.
Yeah.
You must have both landed.
And as two defensemen, how would we even must have been a scrum, and you must have said something.
Down at the blue line.
Yeah.
As the puck bounced over your stick, and then
Close your dirty bastard.
Melnick was grumpy all the time.
Well, Mel, I got to apologize too. We didn't spend usually we're going to say 15 minutes on you, and we didn't do that today.
On the couch session?
Yeah. That's off. You okay?
My issues aren't that bad this week. I'm okay.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
We'll give him a half hour next time.
Pardon?
Are you wearing a suit jacket?
No, I'm wearing. Not that I'm pumping in it. It's Giorgio Armani, Ron.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Whoa.
It's a sweater with a T-shirt and an Armani watch. It all kind of matches. This is a lot of people are watching from Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd dress up a little bit.
I guess your wife can't go out anywhere today.
Does that work?
She went out with her sweater on.
Yeah. I've got 3 of these, but
I'm good now.
I got it. I know.
Everybody.
We should have a day where we all get all dressed up. Let's maybe next Thursday we'll talk about getting all dressed up. Put a suit on or something.
Isn't this the point we show?
Christmas, like a Christmas show.
Yeah, that's right.
Christmas stuff.
We could actually do a Christmas show, do some Christmas caroling too. Make up our own songs. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. You know that song?
Check the balls on that brown collie.
Yeah. What do you, Rash?
Check the balls.
You guys write some stuff down tomorrow at dinner.
Yeah. Kids. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a family show, Ron. It's a family show.
Well, they know what dogs have. By now, you better,
Yeah. All right, guys. So, the guys that are here in the U.S., have a great Thanksgiving. Mel.
Thanksgiving, everybody. Stay healthy, stay good, stay whatever.
Yeah.
Don't drive. You might spill some.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody out there.
All right. Thanks, guys. On that note, we'll see you next week, boys.
Take care. Bye.
Oh my God.